Lost civilizations. Atlantis Lemuria. Imagine discovering that two advanced civilizations existed thousands of years before recorded history, civilizations so advanced they had technology that makes our modern world look primitive. Today we're diving deep into the most compelling evidence that Atlantis and Lemuria weren't just myths, but real places with real people who possessed knowledge that could change everything we know about human history. We'll explore underwater cities, ancient maps that show impossible detail, and survivor stories that have been passed down through generations. But here's the shocking part: recent archaeological discoveries suggest these civilizations might have been connected, and their sudden disappearance might hold the key to preventing our own extinction. Welcome back to Mysteries of the Ancient World. I'm your host David Chin, and this channel is dedicated to uncovering the hidden truths of our planet's forgotten past. For the past 5 years, we've been investigating archaeological anomalies, ancient technologies, and lost civilizations that challenge everything mainstream history tells us. Today's episode is special because we're examining not just one, but two lost civilizations that might have shaped the entire course of human development. The legend becomes reality. For centuries, Atlantis and Lemuria have been dismissed as pure fantasy stories created by ancient philosophers and mystics with overactive imaginations. But what if I told you that modern science is starting to prove these myths were actually historical records of real places? The story begins with Plato's detailed account of Atlantis around 360 BC. He didn't present it as a parable or allegory. He gave specific measurements, described their government structure, their military capabilities, and even their architectural style. Plato claimed Atlantis was a naval power that existed 9,000 years before his own time, making it approximately 11,600 years old. Most importantly, he stated that Atlantis disappeared in a single day and night due to earthquakes and floods. The impossible maps. Here's where things get interesting. In 1929, researchers discovered the Piri Reis Map, a 16th century map that shows Antarctica's coastline with impossible accuracy, depicting the continent as it would appear without ice cover. The map predates the official discovery of Antarctica by 300 years. But the most shocking detail? The mapmaker noted that his sources included maps from the Library of Alexandria, which supposedly contained knowledge from lost civilizations. The Piri Reis Map isn't alone. Dozens of ancient maps show landmasses that shouldn't exist according to official history. The Orontius Phineas map of 1531 shows Antarctica with rivers, mountains, and coastlines that match modern satellite imagery of the continent beneath the ice. How did ancient cartographers have access to this information unless they inherited it from earlier, more advanced civilizations? Lemuria. The Pacific's lost empire. While Atlantis captured the Western world's imagination, ancient Eastern traditions speak of Lemuria, a massive continent that existed in the Pacific Ocean. According to Tamil literature dating back thousands of years, Lemuria, or Kumari Kandam, was an advanced civilization that stretched from Madagascar to Australia. The geological evidence is compelling. The Ring of Fire around the Pacific shows massive tectonic activity throughout history. Ocean floor mapping reveals underwater mountain ranges and plateaus that could have been above sea level during Ice Age periods when ocean levels were significantly lower. But here's what makes Lemuria truly fascinating: multiple unconnected cultures around the Pacific Rim have identical flood myths, similar architectural styles, and shared linguistic roots that suggest common origins. The Easter Island statues, the underwater structures off Yonaguni, Japan, and the mysterious Nanmadol in Micronesia all point to a shared Pacific civilization that mainstream archaeology refuses to acknowledge. The technology that shouldn't exist. Both Atlantis and Lemuria are described as having technology that seems impossible for ancient times. Plato described Atlantean ships that could travel underwater in vehicles that moved without animals or wind. Lemurian texts describe flying vehicles, advanced metallurgy, and communication systems that could span continents. Modern discoveries are starting to validate these impossible claims. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a Greek shipwreck, is a 2,000-year-old analog computer that could predict astronomical events with incredible accuracy. The Baghdad Battery suggests ancient peoples had knowledge of electricity. Megalithic structures worldwide show precision stone cutting that we can barely replicate today, even with modern machinery. The survivors and their secrets. When Atlantis and Lemuria supposedly sank, their survivors didn't just disappear. Ancient records from Egypt, India, and South America all describe culture bearers, mysterious groups of advanced people who arrived by sea after great disasters and taught local populations agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, and architecture. The ancient Egyptians credited their knowledge to the Neteru, divine beings who came from a sunken land in the west. The Mayans spoke of Kukulkan, a bearded god who emerged from the sea to teach civilization. The Incas had Viracocha, another seaborne culture bearer. These aren't coincidences, they're historical records of Atlantean and Lemurian refugees spreading their knowledge to surviving populations. Recent discoveries that change everything. In the last 2 decades, underwater archaeology has uncovered structures that suggest these lost civilizations were real. Off the coast of Cuba, sonar has detected what appears to be a massive underwater city with pyramids and circular structures. The Bimini Road in the Bahamas shows engineered stone blocks arranged in perfect geometric patterns beneath the ocean. Near the southern tip of India, marine archaeologists have discovered the submerged ruins of Dwarka, a city described in ancient Hindu texts. Radiocarbon dating places these ruins at over 9,000 years old, exactly the time frame ancient texts give for Lemuria's destruction. The connection between Atlantis and Lemuria. Recent research suggests Atlantis and Lemuria weren't separate civilizations, they were part of a global network of advanced societies that maintained contact across vast ocean distances. Genetic studies show that Pacific Islanders, Native Americans, and certain Mediterranean populations share DNA markers that suggest common ancestry from populations that lived in now submerged areas. Ancient texts from both traditions describe similar catastrophic events occurring around the same time period: massive earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and floods that reshaped the Earth's geography. Geological evidence supports a period of intense global catastrophe around 11,600 years ago, coinciding with the Younger Dryas impact event that ended the last ice age. Why the cover-up? If evidence for these civilizations is so compelling, why does mainstream academia refuse to acknowledge them? The answer lies in protecting established historical narratives. Admitting that advanced civilizations existed before recorded history would require rewriting textbooks, reconsidering human development timelines, and acknowledging that our primitive ancestors might have been more sophisticated than us. There are also political implications. If Atlantis and Lemuria were real, their survivors influenced cultures worldwide, suggesting that human civilization has common roots rather than developing independently in different regions. This challenges nationalist historical narratives and colonial justifications that depend on portraying certain cultures as more advanced than others. The warning for our time. Perhaps most importantly, the stories of Atlantis and Lemuria serve as warnings for our current civilization. Both cultures are described as technologically advanced but morally corrupt, prioritizing material progress over spiritual development and environmental harmony. Ancient texts describe Atlantean rulers becoming obsessed with power and expansion, using their technology to wage war rather than benefit humanity. Lemurian traditions speak of a civilization that ignored natural warnings and spiritual guidance, leading to their destruction through natural disasters that they could have avoided. Modern parallels and future implications. The parallels to our modern world are striking. We have incredible technology but face environmental collapse, social inequality, and the threat of nuclear war. Like Atlantis and Lemuria, we've developed the power to reshape our planet but struggle with the wisdom to use that power responsibly. Recent discoveries suggest that both civilizations had advanced knowledge of astronomy, geology, and climate science that we're only now rediscovering. Their predictions about future Earth changes, encoded in monuments and texts left by survivors, describe geological events that match current scientific projections about tectonic activity and climate change. The most intriguing possibility is that survivors of these civilizations left behind more than just knowledge. They may have left detailed plans for rebuilding advanced civilization after global catastrophe. Ancient sites worldwide seem designed not just as monuments, but as information storage systems that preserve crucial knowledge for future generations. This investigation into Atlantis and Lemuria reveals that our understanding of human history is fundamentally incomplete. These weren't just advanced civilizations, they were global networks of knowledge and culture that influenced every continent on Earth. If you found this exploration of lost civilizations fascinating, smash that like button to help us reach more truth seekers. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because next week we're investigating the underwater ruins off the coast of Japan that might be the remains of Lemuria itself, and the evidence is absolutely mind-blowing. Drop a comment below and let me know. If you could visit either Atlantis or Lemuria at their peak, which civilization would you choose and why? I read every comment and your insights often lead to our next investigations. Remember, the past holds the keys to understanding our future. Until next time, keep questioning the official story. Here's the question that will keep you thinking. If modern archaeologists discovered undeniable proof that Atlantis and Lemuria were real advanced civilizations that existed before recorded history, how do you think it would change modern society? Would governments try to suppress the information, or would humanity embrace the knowledge that our ancestors were far more advanced than we've been taught? Share your thoughts below. Do you think we're ready for the truth about our forgotten past?